I last touched an animal. I last did some service for somebody in 1988. 1988, I was a young officer. I was working in Chigo prison, and we used to have a neighbor called Edward Nsubuga, who was the owner of a hotel called Ranch on the Lake. And he used to keep animals, Frisians, for himself and for His Majesty, the Kabaka. So he knew I was a vet, invited me to come and try to remove those which are pregnant and those which are empty, so that we can inseminate those which were empty. And I went there and did it. Unfortunately, I entered like this without a glove or what. I ended up with brucellosis. Brucellosis is one of the hard diseases to treat. You can swallow tetracyclines and get injections of the hydroxystreptomycin. It was really hell. But that's when I effectively last gave a service to a client as far as veterinary is concerned. But as you know, I have been in the veterinary resources related activities, more especially poultry science. I'm a graduate of Makerere of 1982. That's not yesterday. And when I was in year 4 finishing, I did interviews for joining Uganda prison. In 1983, I joined the Uganda Prison Service. When I was training, I got a scholarship. In 1984, I went to the University of Glasgow to study poultry science. It was a taught course, which I did for 2 years and came back here in Uganda in 1986, September. And I started managing the prisons hatchery in Chigo prisons. So somehow I have been in poultry. Actually, I have been breeding chicken since that time up to the present. And I'm therefore very, very, very gratified and motivated to come in front of the veterinary professionals so as to discuss something about your symposium, scientific. So, what is the role of veterinarians in national development? Veterinarians are guardians of animal health. Veterinary science remains pivotal in safeguarding the health of Uganda's 17 million cattle, 15 million goats, 50 million chickens, and countless other animals. Our contribution to disease control, including brucellosis, tick-borne diseases, and zoonoses, ensure not only animal productivity, but also public health security. Number 2, you are wealth creators. Livestock contributes over 9% of Uganda's GDP. The dairy sector alone generates about 3.5 trillion Uganda shillings annually, while poultry accounts for a growing segment of agribusiness. Therefore, by ensuring animal health, veterinarians fuel the wheels of agro-processing, export trade, and household incomes. Number 3, innovators in technology and research. Collaborations with institutions like NARO demonstrate how innovation drives results. For example, NARO research in livestock breeds, I'm told, has increased milk yield by over 40%. Vaccines like the tick-borne disease trial, in which the Uganda Prison Service played a role, because we had 2 sites where this tick vaccine was tried. That was in Masindi, in Isimba prisons, and down here in Chiburara prisons farm. Do we have that vaccine already in circulation? Because the results were fantastic. Because my old veterinary practice came to play, and I closely monitored this trial, and it was amazing that we could finish 1.5 to 2 years without spraying animals, and they didn't go down with any tick-borne disease. I'm very looking forward to when your vaccine will be out, so that can help this country. It was a fantastic trial. I hope it was no, in Uganda Ugandans are very good at cheating. They cheat a lot. I hope that trial was not cheated, because of course I met vets there who are handling those animals, because it was very a very good trial. Therefore, the innovation in technology and research can really shape disease management in this country. So, what is the philosophy of veterinary practice? What drives veterinarians to excel? Is it altruism or self-interest? Altruism, of course, is the desire to serve humanity and animals selflessly. And self-interest, the need for recognition, financial security, and professional growth, probably through excellency, lies in the balance of the two. But me, from a very younger age, personally, I was looking at money, at exuberance, at I don't know, because I was in primary 6 in 1969, and I studied it from Kabale, near the town of Kabale. And there was a man called John Batuma, Colonel John Batuma. And he had these black and white animals. I think that was my first time even to see the black and white animals, stretching all the way from around those who know Kabale, around Gwakaraba to Bubale. His farm was that distance in the valley, about 5 kilometers, black and white. And this man had a dairy in Kavali town where everybody collected milk from. And he was driving a Benz, a Mercedes Benz. I don't know whether it was 230 or what of those days. But he was quite arrogant. And I asked my old man, my father, who was the headmaster of that primary school where we were, I asked him that, what did this man but must study? Then he told me that he studied veterinary. Oh, I thought that I should really work hard, study and become a veterinarian and be like John Batuma. That was P6. Because really the man was impressive. And of course you all know the paravet of that time in the villages. You could not compare a paravet to anybody. Not to a medical assistant, not to a dental assistant, not to any other profession. The paravet was a class above. I don't know whether it is still true. The demise of the Veterinary Training Institute, I don't know, but I think it really affected the presence of the paravet in the village. Yet the paravet was the bedrock of veterinary public health. When I see us being disturbed by FMD and even anthrax, can you imagine? Anthrax in 2024? Something has gone wrong. The Uganda Veterinary Association, you have a lot of advocacy to do. I'm not asking you to bang at the tables. But we can have, I don't know why Dr. Ndifuna is laughing to this. Is it Ndifuna or Sifuna? I don't remember. But we need to somehow bang at the tables positively so that we revive that paravet. Are they studying in Bukarasa? Do they still get the veterinary content? Are they proud to be paravets? Are they carrying out the functions? Do they still hold the monopoly of what was that antibiotic we used to buy in one day and sell in Terramycin? Are they still proud to hold Terramycin? I mean, this is what I can remember about the, and behold, it was prestigious to be a paravet. It was prestigious to be a veterinarian. And therefore, the philosophy of veterinary practice, whether it is altruism or self-interest, I think it should be a balance. Personally, it was towards money. So what is the ideology of veterinary science? I think our profession rests on these core ideas. Animal health equals national wealth. Livestock health translates directly to economic stability. One Health approach, recognizing the interconnectedness of human, animal, and environmental health. Resilience and adaptability. As Uganda climate changes, veterinarians must lead in sustainability strategies. So we have to bring ourselves into the president's fourth sector strategy of economic development in Uganda, and that is commercial veterinary practice, promoting agribusiness by ensuring livestock productivity, manufacturing animal products like milk, meat, leather, feed agro-industrialization, services like veterinary clinics, consultancy, and para-veterinary training, which brings the services closer to the communities. And of course, ICT, the digital platforms for disease surveillance, livestock market, and farmer education that bridge the urban-rural divide. We must integrate horizontally. That is a collaboration across all sectors, and vertically, that is linking the community, the grassroots, to the national policy. So what challenges should we address as veterinarians? As I had indicated, the privates are not active. I understand there are privates here. I think they need to be more active. You know, vets have advantage as far as wealth creation is concerned. When I was breeding for the prison service, I was keeping commercial birds, commercial layers, both broilers and layers. I used to supply chicken meat. Every day I was supplying about 30 chickens to a roasting place along Entebbe Road called Mairumbiri. And I used to formulate my feeds using soya, because in prisons, you know, we have a lot of land and soya is not soya is in abundance. So all my feeds were soya formulated. And you know, soya brings an incredible flavor. Those who have not tried it, you can try. Use the soya-free chicken diet, feed broilers, and use soya full diet to chickens, and you compare the taste of the two. The one of soya will definitely beat the other group. So I used to supply those chickens 30 every day. Oh, but people would come from Kansanga, people would come from Tinda, people would come from Nokrabie to eat this chicken at Mairumbiri. This is why there is a branch of the road going to Busavara. Just because of that. And I was making some good feed. I was looking after also commercial layers, not many, around 2,000, 3,000. But we were among the people, first people to export eggs from Uganda. Because I was taking eggs to Kigali, I was taking eggs to Juba, I was taking eggs to Dombio in the other side of South Sudan. I was taking eggs to Kisangani. So what am I trying to say? As veterinarians, you occupy a critical position in wealth creation. First, yourselves, you should not be poor. Chikafuwe. Actually, you should be sentenced if you are a poor vet. I'm not saying you should be sentenced to a term of imprisonment, for which you would become, obviously you would become my client, but you should penalize them as president. What I mean is that you have the chance to get rid of poverty. Because, you know, when I was looking after chicken, my workers, you know, chicken is one of the, everything in chicken sells. Right from the chicken itself, if a worker steals one, he will get money instantly. I don't know what other things, there's no crop which can bring you money like that. But when you have, when a worker steals a chicken, instantly. I was farming near Dr. Mayega's place. I'm sure it is, probably it is the Mayegas who used to buy my chicken. I don't know. Even an egg, when the worker takes an egg out, he sells it instantly. It turns into cash. Even the kalimbwe, the chicken litter, the droppings, get a sack, take it out, it's cash, I think, up to now. Because it is one of the biggest, no, I think the best source of nitrogen-based fertilizers for the crops. And even in fish farming, because I think the droppings cause the development of algae more quickly than any other additive. So you are the best wealth creators. So the challenges to address, as I said, the disappearance of para-veterinary services. I want to see these paravets with their big syringe and their gumboots and let's commit ourselves. There is the ambassador of Uganda to Berlin. Do you know him? I think he was a paravet. Stephen Mubiru. I met him in Vienna. We were attending a session there of criminal justice, and he told me that where is the veterinary training? Where did it go? So let's put a lot of effort into this. And of course, there is under-investment in veterinary science. Yet veterinary offers the best way to... Do you know how much Botswana earns from animals? It's incredible. Even Namibia. Namibia will still have these Germany farmers. They live in Germany and they farm from Namibia. They are still flying there to farm. And those are arid. Those are arid places. Both Botswana and Namibia. So in Uganda, we should have really this investment in veterinary science so that we can get out of poverty. Public perception and support. I heard the president of the Western, is it Western chapter? You people, you don't like to be presidents. I think my president doesn't know this, that there are several presidents around. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell him when I meet him. But we don't need to change public perception. Let them have that perception. Let's make the money. Okay? But there is another involvement now of veterinary practice in wealth creation by by the most progressive department in Uganda Police today is the canine section, which is managed by a vet. And you know, these canines have changed the management of crime, especially in the villages. This business of picking coffee at night, you know, coffee now has become real gold. The business of stealing small animals, the goats, but this canine is going to eliminate this. I'm aware of the current government policy on policing. It is bringing it down to the sub-county level. There should be a minimum of, I think, 21 policemen at the sub-county. And it is possible, it's very easy to deal with. But they should have all the elements of CID, of, I think, traffic, and of course the K9 division. This one is going to change the dynamics at the grassroots. So, what is the Uganda prisons experience as far as veterinary practice is concerned? Where we have tried to revive our farms. Our farms suffered what the country suffered during the war. One of the reasons why I went to do prisons work was that by the time I completed in 1982, the whole country was in flames. And you know, veterinary is a great profession, but it is very sensitive to instability. Where there is instability, veterinary is what? Is gone. It cannot thrive. So in 1982, the whole country was in flames. And I said, now what do I do? The Rural Triangle, which was the bastion of animals and veterinary practice, was a no-go area. So I said, no, let me go and put on uniform so that at least I can have some level of authority. There is nothing much we look for in uniform. It's just authority. You saw during the COVID times when they have closed everywhere, for us we were moving around. It was because of the authority which we carry. Yes? So we have tried to revive the farms. When I joined prisons, we were two vets who joined at the same time. We used to have a vet who actually is the one who pioneered embryo transfer in this country. But later on, I don't know why, he drank himself out until he retired. He was senior to me by 1 year in the veterinary school. But now we have 6 veterinarians in prison. And they are doing very great work. I have one whom I've seen around here. That girl is a lioness. This generous you see here, she's just a lioness. Because she's the one who has revived these farms, you see, using synchronized, you know, he brings all the cows in heat at the same time, and then inseminates them. Then you find we have about 200, you know, it is quite a sight to see 200 Boran calves. Oh, you just want to sleep there. You know, at a certain age here, they are just running in cycles like this. Quite that girl there. And she she has also recruited others. I also have another girl in Isimba Prison Farm who's doing great work, Dr. Namkas. I don't know, does she attend these things? Why? But she's around. I'm going to tell generals to make sure that these vets must come. Because they are not short of means to be able to be members of this. They are not. If I find them short of means, I will just choose them out of the prison service. I cannot allow that. As I told you, in prisons now, we have been participating in innovative trials. And we are able to do more. We are doing a lot to make also on the project. We are actually applying seeds, hybrid seeds of maize, of sunflower, of soya, and of course now we are the only producers of cotton seed. Cotton seed, we are the ones who produce it. And of course, we are building capacity of the veterinary. That's why I like it very much. That the veterinary students can come to prison farms and do internship training. I heard you have academicians there, professors from the university. Well, I know you write. I always read those letters, of course. But even if you didn't write prisons, so long as I'm still in charge, it must be a place for veterinary practice. Veterinary internship for the students. That is a must. Okay? So that we really bring forward the economics of veterinary resources in this country. As stewards of animal health, we must be diligent. I've been Commissioner General of Prisons for this is my 20th year. Then you can now know what type of person I am, because I can be very determined. My determination is incredible. Very determined, positive attitude, and of course, hard work. I'm not short of those values. So as veterinarians, we must be diligent. As a lay canon of the church, let me quote you Proverbs chapter 27, verse 23. That you must know the state of your flocks. In other words, due diligence in the management of your charges. You must be innovative. We must be innovative. We must harness ICT and research to solve tomorrow's challenges. I don't know how we are moving in that direction. When I was young, I used to have a veterinarian from my village called Dr. Peter Takaramire. Those who are very good at reading, there used to be a Takaramire method of isolating the protozoa from I don't remember very well. Do you remember the Betakalamine method? It is for us who are born before computer. Yes. But do we have veterinarians who are bringing up these sort of innovative and technological advances? Do we have a veterinary association newsletter working on it? No, we must. We need it yesterday. Because these things must be published for all the stakeholders. I'm surprised you are saying that the farmers don't know that there is UVA. Then that means you have been sleeping. You must wake up. You must wake up. And of course, veterinarians must be united and collaborate across professions and sectors. Above all, let us champion a veterinary philosophy of a service rooted in excellence and integrity. The road ahead demands bold leadership and renewed commitment to our noble profession. I know you are having elections tomorrow. You are going to elect bold leadership, not self-seekers. Unfortunately, the world is such that self-seekers tend to outnumber very serious people. Everywhere. So let's not do that mistake tomorrow. I've been seeing smart guys on the Mukutu canvassing. They are entitled to canvass for vote. But of course you know them yourselves and you will do the right thing. As I leave you with this challenge of leadership, remember that a nation's wealth lies not just in its resources, but also in the health of its animals and the dedication of its veterinarians. I want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, Retired General for recognizing the place and value of veterinarians and scientists in general. That's why he decided to pay scientists first. Let the other professions wait. Let's pay the scientists first. That shows the seriousness and the attachment of value to these science professions. And even got a vet to head the science ministry. I think that lady is a vet, a very good specialist in public health. Dr. Musenero is actually a world-renowned expert in zoonoses, especially this, especially in this disease which usually comes from Congo, Ebola. Therefore, the nation's wealth, let me repeat this, does not only lie in its resources, but also in the health of its animals and the dedication of its veterinarians. You are the ones. Thank you very much for taking time to listen to what I had to tell you. I wish to urge you to take this science, is it scientific symposium? Something like that. Very fancy names, scientific symposium. May God bless you and the animals entrusted to your care. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Col.Dr. Johnson Byabashaija, for that wonderful presentation. A very big round of applause. Once again, I would like to thank you for coming. I'd like to thank you for sparing your time. I know you're a very busy person, but being part of the veterinary family, thank you for gracing this symposium and for making it here in Mbarara City at Las Vegas Hotel.